we live? Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, Star Wars fans. This could be it. This could be the end of a guy who loves Star Wars. As this topic we're talking about today is quite the shaky topic when it comes to the Star Wars fandom. Whew. Wow, 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 wow. All right, let's get into it. Let's do it. Whew. Are we ready to pull the plug? Okay, let's do it. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars. We got a lot to talk about today, of course. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a South Park special all about Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, and how terrible it's been over the last few years at the company we all know as Disney. Now, we're going to try our best today. We're going to try our absolute best today to cover this topic without getting canceled, one, but also to do it in an enlightened way and see all sides. Let's put it that way. Just right off the bat, how we doing today, chat? How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday afternoon? I know we got an earlier stream today, but I think this is going to be a really fun one. This is going to be a blast. This is going to be real fun. So how are we doing today, chat? Let me open up the chat so I can see how you guys are doing today. Just give me a 1 into the chat. Just right off the bat, let's give me a 1 into the chat if you have seen this South Park special that I'm referring to here. The South Park special that came out, I think it came out yesterday. I'm not too sure, but I think it came out yesterday. But give me a 1 into the chat if you've seen this special. You know? Rem says, awesome. How are you? I'm doing good, Rem. I'm doing good. Alex, what's up, Alex? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? All right, let's start up a poll right away so I can see if you guys have seen this special or not. No, you haven't yet? All right, that's fine. If you haven't seen it yet, we're going to go over what it's about, okay? Have you seen the South Park Lucasfilm special? Yes or no? You tell me. Yes or no, yes or no. We're going to go over what happened in it. So if you haven't seen it, don't worry. We'll go over it. We'll go over it. It's pretty much just crapping all over Lucasfilm and Disney, and specifically Kathleen Kennedy. And it really goes after Kathleen Kennedy really hard. So we're going to dive into it. Wow, right off the bat, a bunch of you have seen it. We're about 50-50 right away here. Alex, you haven't seen it either? All right. All right, so let's dive into this article right away then, so we can figure out what this was about, okay? So, actually, let me describe what I watched. I watched it this morning. It's about 45 minutes. It's on Paramount Plus, I believe. It's South Park. South Park is a funny kind of sort of... It's South Park. It's a show that makes fun of everything. Makes fun of everybody, everything on either side of the spectrum. Wherever you lie, South Park is going to make fun of you. So this special was called the Panderverse. What was it called? It was called Joining the Panderverse. Now, pander, of course, means when you pander to fans, like Disney has been doing over the last couple of years, where they're pandering to the audience of for lack of a better word, going woke. And the fun term that people like to use is go woke or go broke, and we're going to talk all about that today without getting canceled. So Disney has been recreating movies of late. Snow White is the newest one in development. They did The Little Mermaid. They've done all these countless animated movies that were enormous. They're redoing them now. They did The Lion King. They're doing Moana. They did Aladdin, I believe. They did some other ones. Somebody in the chat help me out. What other live action things has Disney done? But they're doing all these movies. And what they're doing with the movies, let's say, for example, The Little Mermaid. What they're doing with The Little Mermaid was, of course, The Little Mermaid, Ariel, is an iconic character. She's got the really, really red hair. She's a white girl, but that has nothing to do with the character. But in the live action version of the movie, it is a black woman. I completely forget her name. Who plays Ariel in the new Little Mermaid? Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey? Yeah, Halle Bailey. So I've seen that movie. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not. It's a kids movie still, so it's whatever. I'm not a kid technically, even though we're here sitting here talking about Star Wars, but I'm not a kid. she does a fantastic job as the character. She has a great voice and she does a fantastic job. There's nothing bad about that. I think what more fans are seeing is the problem is they don't come up with original good ideas, and instead they're trying to throw their agenda-driven nonsense at us. Okay, let's let's take a step back here. Let's go back to the South Park special. Okay, so it's called Joining the Panderverse. Now, the pander is Disney pandering to their audience. Now, this is about Kathleen Kennedy. So it opens up with Eric Cartman, who's one of the most iconic characters from South Park. Let me show you who I'm talking about here. Eric Cartman. This guy, right? Oh my God. Some of the pictures that come up when you look up Eric Cartman are funny. This is Eric Cartman. For those of you who don't know, those of you who've never seen South Park a day in your life, this is Eric Cartman. Right there. Eric himself in the flesh. So it starts with him having a dream where he has been turned into a older black woman, and all of his friends around him have been turned into different ethnicities and all women. And that's kind of the joke. He wakes up from the nightmare and he calls out to his mom and says, "Oh, I just had a terrible nightmare. Check under my bed if Kathleen Kennedy is under there." The first call out of Kathleen Kennedy, she gets called out. She's literally the villain of the story arc of this episode, which is insanity. But then he asks his mom to check the closet for Kathleen Kennedy and all this stuff. It just keeps going with Eric crapping all over Kathleen and how Disney's ruining children's dreams and all this other stuff. And it talks about the higher-ups executives at Disney, Bob Iger, all of them, and how they're just creating these awful, awful movies. But it focuses on Lucasfilm and Indiana Jones 5 and how they replaced Indy with the girl and all this stuff. So it's very, 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 very anti-Disney, anti-Kathleen Kennedy, anti-Lucasfilm, anti-Bob Iger. It's anti all of them. That's the whole special. Actually kind of ends in a kind of a more positive way where they redeem Kathleen Kennedy, but that's a whole nother thing. And she promises to make better stuff, but that's a whole nother thing. So that's the gist of the special. They crap on Disney executives, they crap on Iger, they crap on Kathleen Kennedy, and they crap on Indiana Jones 5 specifically and recent Disney projects. Now, okay, let's get into an article first before I say something that I'm not supposed to. Here we go. South Park blames Kathleen Kennedy for why Disney movies all suck now. Paramount Plus' latest special sets its sights on Disney's poor box office performance. It's literally the whole gist of the special. Okay, so let's read this up. Is that on the screen? It's not on the screen. That's okay. We fix it. So, South Park had one big unexpected villain in its latest special, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy. She's literally the villain of the special. Okay. Joining the Panderverse is the name of the special. Went as far as to blame the executive for why Disney's movies all suck now. Spoilers ahead. So this is kind of what it's about. Before diving into the madness that is South Park, some background on Kennedy is helpful. The real-life executive became president of Lucasfilm after Disney acquired the company in 2012. We know this. Handpicked by George Lucas himself, so people who complain about Kathleen Kennedy, handpicked by George Lucas himself. Kathleen Kennedy has overseen the latest Star Wars films, including The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, and Rise of Skywalker, all of the Star Wars series on Disney Plus, in the latest Indiana Jones movie called The Dial of Destiny. Anybody, give me a 1 in the chat if you saw Dial of Destiny. Have you seen the Indiana Jones 5 movie? Anybody in the chat seen that movie? Have you seen Indiana Jones 5? I haven't, personally. I've heard really bad things, and that's kind of what stopped me from going to see it. But I've heard it's pretty bad. I heard that it's definitely not as good as the first three, but it's not even as good as the fourth one, which honestly wasn't that good either. So, I don't know. I just haven't seen it, I guess. I have not really much to say. Brandon, you saw it? You saw it when it was released? What did you think, Brandon? Was it good? Was it good? What did you think? I might have to zoom out because this isn't fully on the screen, huh? That's better. That's much better. Much better. What did you think, Brandon? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? I already lose my voice, guys. We're 10 minutes into the stream. Let's keep reading, and we'll wait for Brandon to respond. She is not involved with Marvel or Disney's non-Star Wars animated content, though that doesn't seem to be the case in the universe of South Park. At first blush, that may make her an odd choice as South Park's latest boogeyman. But buckle up, because this is just the beginning of this particular roller coaster. So, Paramount's joining the Panderverse starts with Cartman waking up, I just said this, waking up from a nightmare in which all of his friends have been replaced by queer adult women of color, as Bob Iger's stock falls. He begs his mom to check under his bed to make sure no Disney executives are under there, namely Lucasfilm's head Kathleen Kennedy. Okay? But as often is the case with South Park, what starts as a silly take on an irrational fear and anger of fanboys is pushed to its absolute limits. So, of course, this is really taking the whole hate of Kathleen Kennedy, the hate of Lucasfilm, the hate of Disney, and pushing it to extremes. As the special progresses, Cartman swaps places in the multiverse. They really crap on the multiverse a lot in this too. With his multiverse counterpart, a black woman who acts identical to him, and it's all Kathleen Kennedy's fault. In the special, Kennedy and Disney's CEO, Bob Iger, eventually reveal that they've been using a device known as the Panderstone, an ancient piece of artificial intelligence that could be used to make the same movies over and over again while appealing to absolutely no one. And that kind of seems to be, of course, extremely exaggerated, but what is going on with Disney as of late? They're making the same movie over and over again, remakes of remakes of remakes, for absolutely no one. They're losing billions of dollars, and they're not doing well. But let's keep reading. These more diverse movies led to the backlash of hateful and racist letters from fans. Desperate to counter this bigotry, South Park's Kathleen Kennedy returns to the Panderstone and attempts to fight back, and even more lit movies. Lit movies? Okay. The repeated use of the Panderstone fractures the multiverse, known as the Panderverse, which is how both versions of Cartman and Kennedy come to the wrong universe. I know, it kind of sounds crazy, but it works in the show. That's actually the best explanation I've heard about why Disney movies all suck now, Cartman says to Kennedy. So that is why they all suck in South Park's version, is there's this Panderstone that allows them to create the same movie over and over again that nobody wants to see. And Cartman even makes a joke that that's the best explanation I've heard as to why Disney movies suck now. Ultimately, the two team up. Cartman apologizes for sending Kennedy tens of thousands of pieces of hate mail a day about Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and Kennedy vows to make original content that doesn't pander going forward. Now, of course, Disney has not made this actual vow in actuality in the real world, but Kathleen Kennedy in the show does, or in the special does. I'm sorry I was so reckless with, this is what Kathleen says, I'm sorry I was so reckless with the thing that you love. It was lazy. This is South Park again, throwing jabs, making Kathleen Kennedy apologize for the stupidity of not only the sequel trilogy, but Indiana Jones, Willow, and others. I guess just railing on woke stuff all the time is pretty lazy too, is what Cartman says. So, there's a little bit of here and there, but we kind of get the gist. This is far from the first time South Park has targeted Disney. It's not even the show's most ridiculous thrash of the company. A vulgar, cruel, and money-obsessed version of Mickey Mouse often serves as the show's Disney punching bag. If you guys are familiar with South Park, you know that a Mickey Mouse shows up every once in a while and literally just gets killed often. Yes. Over the course of this series, Mickey Mouse has bullied the Jonas Brothers and become sex symbols, teamed up with Randy to sell weed in China, and has shown even having sex with a bat. Okay, yes, and okay. What's just, that was in the South Park other universe thing. Yep, well, moving on. The show even previously took on the Indiana Jones in an episode devoted to the poorly received Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that time blaming Lucas and the director Steven Spielberg. So the Crystal Skull that came out in 2007, 2006. When did Crystal Skull come out? When Crystal Skull came out in the early 2000s, it got a lot of crap as well, just like Indiana Jones 5 did. But Indiana Jones 5 was even worse for crap. But South Park didn't hold back with George Lucas himself and Steven Spielberg either. So this isn't the first case where they're sort of, just crapping on people. But this may be the first time that Matt Stone and Tyler Parker, the people who run the show, has so explicitly and repeatedly targeted a specific entertainment executive rather than a head of the conglomerate itself. Usually they would go after CEO Bob Iger, but this time they're going after an executive in Kathleen Kennedy. Typically, the show uses recognizable stand-ins like Mickey Mouse for its corporate mockery rather than naming names. Other corporate heads the series has ridiculed include its telepathic take on Jeff Bezos and its poorly dubbed Mark Zuckerberg. Watch the clip below. Okay, so that's kind of just the gist of the episode, but what they're saying here is usually they just take Mickey Mouse and make fun of Disney. This time they literally personally went after Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, so now that you haven't watched the episode and you kind of get the gist of what the episode is, let's talk about it, because first of all, South Park is trending on Twitter, on all social medias, I believe, but it's really a big thing right now. South Park came after one of the biggest companies in the entire world, Disney, and they spoke the truth for the most part. Of course, they exaggerated it to the craziest degree, but they spoke the truth. Most of Disney's projects over the last couple years, at least, have been terrible, like not even good. Now, Marvel's had a few good movies. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was pretty good, and even the year before that, what even came out the year before that? Wakanda Forever was pretty good. But they've had their misses as well. Thor, Love and Thunder. Even Ant-Man was all right. But when it comes to Star Wars, they've lived on Disney Plus for a while. But we, of course, go back to the sequel trilogy to blame a lot of that on Kathleen Kennedy. But you also have Indiana Jones 5. When it comes to Lucasfilm, you have Willow, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, of course. But the lack thereof attention to, the pandering to the audience of making content that nobody asks for, repeating a story over and over again, not only just in creating animated movies into live action, but also look at the sequel trilogy itself. A lot of people say that A New Hope and The Force Awakens are the exact same movie, and they have an argument to be made. A bad guy with a helmet on, a planet-killing weapon. The main hero is on a desert planet, doesn't know their place in this whole galaxy war, becomes the main hero. They have a point. Let's say that. They have a point. The craziest part is that they specifically went after Kathleen Kennedy. Now, we've been talking about Kathleen Kennedy for months and months and months. Whether she was going to get fired or not, whether she's the right person for the job or not, how she's destroyed Disney and Lucasfilm itself. We've talked about Kathleen Kennedy at crazy extents. Now South Park, which is literally put on Paramount Plus, is put on national television, came directly after a competing company in Disney, but also in Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy personally. What is the backlash going to be from this? And also, as a fan, and obviously you guys, most of you guys have not seen it, 67% of you haven't seen it, but the people who have seen it, what did you think of the episode? And did you think they're off? Did you think that this was too harsh? Did you think that this was too mean? Or is this what we need? Is this Kathleen Kennedy's way to just get the fuck out of here? Just leave. Just get out. We don't want you here. Just leave. What is your take on this? Was this too harsh by Paramount and in the South Park creatives? Or was this right on the nose? Disney executives are stupid. Bob Iger's got to go. Kathleen Kennedy's got to go. Is this just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the problems over at Disney? What's up, Daylight? How we doing? Austin says, I hate how KK ruined Star Wars, or is running Star Wars. I mean, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Your pal Joe says, hey, y'all, I gotta see it. What happened? All right, so let's just very, very quickly. This South Park episode was all about the pandering of Disney to their audiences and how they are just making the same movie over and over and over again with Indiana Jones 5, with The Little Mermaid, with Snow White, with Star Wars. They're making the same movie over and over and over again just to try and make money. And what they're doing with those same projects is they're replacing the main leads with a female lead or with a person of color. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but come up with your own goddamn story. That's kind of the gist of the South Park episode, and I don't think they're wrong. I don't think they're wrong at all. I think original story is much needed. Look at The Mandalorian. Look at the Ahsoka show. The Ahsoka show is the perfect example. We're coming off the backs of Ahsoka. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, they're geniuses. It's almost a fully female-led show. Ahsoka, Sabine, Harrison Dula, even Shin is one of the bad guys. Morgan Elsbeth is one of the bad guys. It's a very female-heavy show, but not a single person not a single competent person is complaining about that because it's an incredible show. It's incredible characters, and it's not just rebooting the same entire story that we've seen a million times before. If that makes sense. It's not The Little Mermaid remake. It's not Indiana Jones being replaced by a girl. It's not Rey being the exact same desert-dwelling person as Luke Skywalker. It's not a remake. It's a good story. Well, let's see. Boondock says, there was a rumor that we were going to get a reboot of the franchise of 007 and get someone else to play Indy for Harrison Ford, but that was over my dead body. Well, 007 James Bond has been rebooted multiple times, and it will be rebooted again. I'm not sure if they'll go down the route of a female James Bond, because then, I guess you could keep the name James, but that would be a little awkward. I can't even think of the girl version name of James. Jamie, maybe? But yes, Indiana Jones, they wanted somebody else to play Harrison Ford. I think they wanted the girl in the movie to take over. And they were going to do a show afterwards and all this other stuff, but it didn't happen because fans did not like that. No, they did not. That's awesome. South Park W. It does seem like most people are seeing this as a South Park W, Joe, and I agree with you. But it is still absolutely insane that they physically just went straight after Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, and Disney itself. Because they've made fun of Disney in the past, but this was a direct, full-on, hour-long special directed solely at Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. Just attacking them. Physically, it's just attacking them for the shit that they've come out with over the last couple of years, which is insane. Anthony says, Mike, from what I saw, I'd say it's on point. Considering some of the things that Disney/Lucasfilm has done, it's just desserts. Oh, it's just desserts, like they're just creating desserts. Yeah, look at Disney over the last few years. Not just Pixar, but live action, but Star Wars, but Marvel. It's all just the same thing over and over again. Let's go for Marvel, for example. You had characters like Black Widow. You had characters like Tony Stark, Captain America. These iconic characters, they all died or were at least really, really old at the end of Avengers Endgame. Getting rid of Black Widow, getting rid of Tony, getting rid of Cap. Then you go to new characters. Phase 4 was full of Shang-Chi, who's an incredible character. Still don't know why we haven't gotten Shang-Chi 2. Then you go to Hawkeye's now a girl. You go to Hulk is now a girl. You go to Thor is now a girl. You go to Miss Marvel. You go to Captain Marvel. And it really just shoves it in your face of we're going to this now, and what you liked, we don't give a fuck. Loki's now a girl. There you go. Tom Hiddleston should be the next Bond. There you go. That would be good, Jake. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Daylight says Disney is in a really weird state. Ever since Disney Plus and the remakes, they seem very unoriginal nowadays. They've had some comebacks. They'll have some comebacks eventually, but yeah, they need new blood and new ideas. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Disney's in a really tough spot right now. Their stock prices, I should say, are cratering, literally cratering. And they're having to sell a lot of their things because they're losing money. They lost $1 billion on their last, what was it, 10 movies? $1 billion. Elementals lost money. Indiana Jones lost money. The Little Mermaid lost money. The Wild Worlds, Wonder Worlds. What the hell was that movie called? What was the Disney Pixar movie last year, or just Disney animated movie? Weird Worlds. That lost money. There's a lot more. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. They all are losing money. Now, why are they losing money? Because first of all, the story sucks. They're usually either a rewrite or a recreation of the same story over and over again. But look at the original content. The original content, if you go all the way back to 2016 or 18 or whenever it was, Strange Worlds. Strange Worlds. When you go back to 2018 with Moana was the biggest freaking hit in the world because it was an original story that was good. It was good. Look at The Mandalorian for Star Wars. Original story. And it was good. It was good. And the list goes on and on and on. You make a good news story, it's going to sell. Or you could just keep making the stupid mistakes over and over again. And that's the thing. They're not learning. They're not. They're coming out with Snow White still. They're making the next remake again. Like, it's just over and over and over again. They're making the same mistake. And that's the problem. Now Disney's going under. They literally could be bought out next year by Apple. Disney, one of the biggest companies in the world, could be going under next year. They're selling ESPN. They're trying to sell Hulu. They're trying to sell all of these assets so that they can slim down and be sold to Apple. Because Apple doesn't want ESPN. Apple doesn't want any of that other stuff. They just want Disney. They want Mickey Mouse. They want the parks. They want Disney Plus. That's it. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. One of the biggest companies in the world could easily just be making billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. You have Star Wars. You have Marvel. You have Mickey Mouse. You have all this Pixar. You have animated stuff. You have live action stuff that you could come up with original content and be making billions upon billions of dollars. You don't have a lack of people, of writers, of creatives. You don't have a lack of that. You don't. You just have zero insight onto what your fans want. Like, their PR team must suck. How are they not seeing this? How are they not realizing this? It takes a competing company of Paramount Plus, or Paramount, to make a special, an hour-long special of them shitting all over their content for them to go, oh, wait, guys, is this not working? Is what we're doing not actually succeeding? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I really hope that Disney goes under next year. They get sold to Apple, and Apple says, fuck you, gets rid of Kathleen Kennedy, gets rid of Bob Iger, and cleans house. Absolutely cleans house. Not only will it be good for Star Wars, it'll be good for Marvel, it'll be good for everybody. It'll be good for fans. It'll be the best thing for fans if Disney has to get a full-on just clean house. It'd be fantastic. Fan-frickin-tastic. And I hope it happens. That's where I'm at now. That's absolutely where I'm at now. It doesn't really have much to do with Star Wars. I think Dave Filoni will still be around. I think Jon Favreau will still be around. The creative people, the people who are kind of on the creative side, will still be around. It's the higher up executives at Disney. It's the Bob Igers of the world. It's the Kathleen Kennedys of the world that need to go. Need to go badly. Badly, because they're just hurting the brand, because everybody saw that South Park special and said, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Disney's taking all the stuff that we loved from our childhood and ruining it. Absolutely ruining it. Yeah. Isn't Apple the one who produced Rings of Power show? That was pretty lackluster too. No, that was Amazon. Amazon made Rings of Power. I actually kind of liked Rings of Power, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah, it was lackluster for sure. No, that was Amazon. Apple is, of course, Apple. Everybody's got an iPhone. Everybody's got a freaking MacBook. It's Apple. It's Apple. It's selling millions upon millions of iPhones every day. So, it's a gigantic company, but it's not really like a media company. They got Apple TV. It's called Apple TV, right? They got Apple TV, and that's pretty big. I mean, it's a lot smaller than like Amazon Prime or even Disney Plus or whatever. But they got Apple TV, and they'd be able to kind of merge Apple TV and Disney Plus into one sort of place, you know? Oh, okay, my bad. I liked it at first, but it didn't end well. Actually, I liked it at first too, and I liked it kind of all the way through. The ending was a little strange, but I liked the twist at the end. I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, who plans on seeing it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it wasn't what people thought it was going to be, and that's why they didn't like it. I didn't really go in with high expectations, as I'm not like the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, you know? But I get what you mean. I totally get it. I totally get it. All right, let me go back up and reply to some of these chats. Yeah, Ahsoka is awesome, for sure. South Park skit is speaking facts about the current state of Lucasfilm. It really is, Brandon. It is. 100%. And what did you say about Indiana Jones trilogy was better than Indiana Jones 5? Oh, way better. Yeah, it was. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Wasn't Shia LaBeouf, who played Indiana's son, Mutt, originally going to play Indiana Jones' successor after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Yes. So he was supposed to be. But then that whole craziness happened with Shia LaBeouf where he went kind of crazy. He came back, but then they just killed him off screen in the new movie is what I've heard. Yeah, kind of crazy. Daylight says, Snow White is going to bomb so bad. All right, let's talk about Snow White a little bit because we're just going to get canceled anyway today. Snow White is going to be a fucking disaster. And here's why. Not only is the girl who's playing... What's her name? What's the girl... Somebody help me out in the chat. What's the girl's name who's playing Snow White? Whatever the hell her name is. Stupid Face Dumbo. Let's call her. She is so dumb and so stupid that she's literally coming out and saying, oh, if I have to wear a Disney princess costume all day, I deserve to get paid to do so. Hey, lady, how about you get to wear a princess costume, which nobody wants you to wear, by the way. You get to wear it and get paid to do so. Paid millions of dollars, by the way. Millions of dollars, by the way, to do so. And you literally get paid to do that. Nobody likes you. This rendition of the movie is gonna suck. And guess what? Disney actually hears this now. So first of all, let's talk about this. The Snow White movie has been delayed a whole entire year. It's been delayed from March of 2024 to March of 2025. An entire year. Because of this. These were your 7 dwarves. These were your 7 dwarves from Snow White. These were your 7 dwarves. Other than this guy right here, do any of these look like the 7 dwarfs? No, they're called the 7 bandits. And guess what? There's no prince in this movie either. There's no prince. One of these guys, I don't even know which one, is a love interest. But yeah, there's no 7 dwarves, and there's no love interest because she doesn't need to be saved by a prince. She doesn't need to be saved by a prince. Okay, then make a new fucking story. Why would you take a story that already exists, that's already beloved by billions of people, and change it into something so much worse? So much worse. So much worse. I mean, look at this. I mean, but they did. They listened. Disney listened. Okay? They listened. And this is your new... Well, first of all, people were complaining that you just, like, little people, that you just stopped 7 little people who have a very small, like, percentage of roles in Hollywood. You just stopped 7 of them from getting a role in Hollywood. This is your new Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. CGI'd 7 Dwarfs. So they completely just shit-canned this idea, which is smart. This was a disaster, but these 7 people just lost their jobs. And they CGI'd them and made them dwarves. And there you go. That's your new 7 dwarves. They're all CGI'd, so they didn't get their jobs back. And they look terrible. They look worse than the animated versions of them. Like, what is going on here? Oh, my head's in the way. Hang on. What is going on here? Why is his head 10 times too big for his body? What is going on here? So not only was this bad, this might be worse. This might be worse. And they delayed it by a year. They delayed the movie by an entire year. Should have canceled it. Should have canceled the movie. Nobody likes this girl. Nobody likes the idea of remaking this stupid Rachel Zegler. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Rachel Zegler is this girl right here. So not only did they change it back to 7 dwarves that are now CGI dwarves, they delayed the movie by a year. They're keeping Rachel Zegler, even after what she said about complaining about being a princess and everybody hates her. They're still keeping her around. And it's going to be a disaster. It's going to lose them even more money. And it's going to be a disaster. So how does this all kind of tie back to Star Wars? Let's tie it back to Star Wars. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's tie it back to Star Wars. Let's tie it back to Star Wars. Okay? How does this tie back to Star Wars? Well, first of all, the South Park thing was completely directed at Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and Star Wars and Indiana Jones. But how does this tie back to Star Wars in general? Well, the sequel trilogy itself, of course, like I said before, people think it's like a remake of the original trilogy, stuff like that, or at least A New Hope and A Force Awakens are like a remake of themselves. But when it comes to Star Wars as of late, Kathleen Kennedy is still doing the same thing. Look at The Mandalorian Season 3. So many people complained. Now, I just said how nobody complained about Ahsoka being female-led because it was Ahsoka, who's an incredible character, Sabine, who's an incredible character, Hera Syndulla, who's an incredible character, Shin Hati, who's an incredible character. People didn't complain about that, but people complained about The Mandalorian Season 3 because they sidelined our boy Din Djarin and put Bo-Katan in the front lines. Now, I wasn't that opposed to that. I thought it was a good story. I thought it was smart to do so because Bo-Katan's the one who can bring all the Mandalorians together with the help of Din Djarin, of course, and all that stuff. But we're still seeing the same thing go down where Lucasfilm or Disney or Kathleen Kennedy, whoever you want to call it, took the main male hero of a show, cast them to the side, and elevated a new female character. Not a new female character, but a female character nonetheless. Now, I didn't see it as a problem in The Mandalorian. Some fans did. Nobody really saw it as a problem with Ahsoka because Ahsoka's that good, but it's still an issue. It's still an issue when it comes to Star Wars because fans are still complaining about it. And as long as the fandom wants Kathleen Kennedy gone and she's still there, Rose Tico, a Star Wars story, let's do it. Let's do it. As long as Star Wars fans still see it as a problem and Kathleen Kennedy is still the freaking CEO of the freaking company, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Now, before I get into your chats, and before I keep screaming and yelling about this nonsensical stupidness, we got some cool new things going around the channel. As you can tell, we got your pal Joe in the chat, who's a founding member, the first founding member, I believe. He's got an awesome, cool Ahsoka lightsaber right next to his name because we got members badges now. We got members stuff all over the place. So if you want to become a member of this channel, it is very easy. You just hit that join button in the description below, or there, you click the description of this video, which this is the video right here. You go down to the description, you click on the description, and you press join. And when you press join, you get cool 3 options. 99 cents, guys. 99 cents. That's it. To get this cool, awesome badge, to get cool perks, which is giveaways every month, usually the first week of the month, which is coming up next week. So if you want to get access to that giveaway, you got to become a member before then. Discord, members only Discord, priority comment, replies, of course, and 10% off the merchandise store, which will be open very soon. If you become a knight, you get all that same stuff, but also members only live chats and 15% off. If you become at $10 a month, a master, I will play games with you, 20% off, and a saber, free saber, lightsaber after 1 year. Also, we got something cool for this stream. And for streams from here on out, this is a new thing. We got the new intro and outro for the stream. If you guys didn't see that, it looks a lot like this. Pretty epic, if I do say so myself. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty epic, so that's new. But now if you become a member, you get also this awesome cool thing that I just worked on this morning and finally got ready to go. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. So if you want to become a member, you get that awesome, cool stuff. So, and I'll play that video every time we get a new member. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. It's a cool new thing, and I like cool new things, you know, even when we're talking about crazy, crappy stuff, you know. Crazy, crappy stuff going on in the Star Wars realm. All right, let me catch up on these chats. Anthony says, yep, that was the hint. At the end of Indy 4, when Shia was criticized for his performance in the film and wondered if he shouldn't be playing him. Delay 15 years and the story was changed. Yeah. Daylight says, I already said that. Henry Cavill would be sick as James Bond. He would be a cool cast, for sure. For sure. Okay, I don't think anyone should replace Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. I don't think so either. I think they should let it die. Indiana Jones was an incredible trilogy that had a bad fourth movie. Not a bad fourth movie. It was an okay fourth movie. It was a respectable fourth movie. Should have stopped there, but they didn't. They went for a fifth movie. Okay, fine. Now leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it be for the rest of time. Let Indiana Jones live on as a character in the mythos. You know? Just leave it alone. A young Jason Statham would be dope as Bond. Well, you can't really make him younger, can you, Joe? Oh my god, Snow White looks like garbage. It really does, yes. Speaking of Snow White remake, the actress Rachel Zegler, whatever the hell her name is, who was in Shazam 2, really didn't like the original story. Yeah, she didn't even like the original story of Snow White. So she's a character who she doesn't like. Good casting, Disney. Great casting. God damn it. Daylight says, I liked back when they were doing redos of the movies like Maleficent and Cruella. These are good new takes on classics. Remake of Once Upon a Time show. It reminds me of Once Upon a Time show. Yeah, you can do remakes. You can do live action adaptations, but once you change the story so drastically as to making Snow White not even Snow White, to making the seven dwarves not even seven dwarves, to having the prince who saves the day not even exist, it's not the same story. You can't even call it Snow White because it's not the same story. Yeah. I liked The Lion King. I did. I liked The Jungle Book. I liked Aladdin. Aladdin was good, yeah. But once you start changing the story, like the actual story, then it's a disaster. Anthony says, I agree. The rumors were years ago that Hollywood was thinking about Chris Pratt playing him. That would have worked if Indiana Jones was replaced. Imagine Harrison and Chris in a film. Yeah, Chris Pratt would be a good... But you don't replace Indiana Jones. There's no new Indiana Jones. You'd have a new successor to Indiana Jones, and it would be called something else. You know? You wouldn't just recast him. Darth Kennedy, the last Sith. Well, we got to get rid of Darth Kennedy swagger, but what's up? How we doing? KK, acolyte of the woke order. That's a good one. That's a good one. That cast idea doesn't sound bad. Chris Pratt looks very similar to Harrison Ford. Does he though? I don't think so, but I think he would make a good replacement. Next year is Disney Plus Jar Jar. I would watch that. I'd watch that for sure. Ryan Johnson trilogy, The Woke Wars, starring Brie Larson. Oh God. Jay, what's up? Jay says, hey Mike, long time no see. What's up, Jay? How we doing? How we doing, Jay? I'm almost surprised that the quality projects haven't been offered to Ford or Pratt, unless that's something we haven't heard about yet. Oh, well, there's no way that they would do it now after Indiana Jones 5 absolutely bombing. They can remake Indiana Jones in like 30 years. Yeah. Why do it so quickly? Like when Harrison's still around, just let it kind of just exist, you know? All right, let's get into this next article about the same South Park ideal here. So, South Park questions Disney's diversity efforts in new Paramount Plus special joining the Panderverse. So this is Kathleen Kennedy right here on the left. It's a Cartman version of Kathleen Kennedy. And then you got Mickey Mouse upset up here and Bob Iger looking at the stock prices or stock market cratering. Oh, let's zoom in on this a little bit here. That's good. Okay. Spoiler alert, we are about to break down many twists and turns of South Park's Joining the Panderverse, now streaming on Disney+. Haven't watched it yet? You've been warned. Every kid frets about monsters hiding in their closets from time to time, but only Eric Cartman specifically worries that Disney executives are lurking in the corners of his bedroom, awaiting to replace him and all of his friends with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy. Okay, here we go. We're back on the very shaky territory here. Cartman's extremely on-brand concerns serves as a launching pad for South Park's Joining the Panderverse, the series' latest Paramount Plus special, which finds the iconically intolerant fourth graders directing his ear towards Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy. It still is crazy to me that they literally are singling out Kathleen Kennedy. You could have singled out Bob Iger for all the problems at Disney, but no, they went for Kathleen Kennedy. Who is Kathleen Kennedy, you ask? She became president of Lucasfilm when Disney acquired the company in 2012. Not 2019, 2012. Under her leadership, we've gotten the new sequel trilogy and various side films, the fifth Indiana Jones movie, Dial of Destiny, and a handful of Star Wars TV series, including Andor, Mandalorian, and of course, Ahsoka. She's considered herself to be the champion of diversity on both on and off screen, and believes that having a cast that represents the world today is a sentiment that certainly wouldn't sit well with a racist, anti-Semitic, homophobic, misogynistic child like Cartman. It's very on brand. It's a very good take from South Park, and yes, it's true. It is true. Cartman theorizes that his Cartman theorizes that his reoccurring nightmares, in which his friends and his friends are portrayed as racially and sexually diverse women, aren't dreams at all. He actually sees into an alternate universe. No one takes him seriously. Least of all, Kyle, who finds the multiverse to be overused plot device until the portal suddenly opens, swapping a white male Cartman with a black female Cartman. So who or what is responsible for tearing the rift between the worlds? That would be the Panderstone, an ancient piece of AI technology that has enabled Disney to remake the same movie over and over again, pandering to more audiences with each release. Isn't it possible that we here at Disney pander so much that we've opened a doorway into the Panderverse? One executive asks Bob Iger. So that's the gist. If you guys didn't watch the special, that's the gist. That's what's going on here. Is they've opened a split in space and time into the multiverse, into the Panderverse, where Disney has been pandering to all audiences so much that they've split the multiverse open and caused this chaotic rip. So here's what happens. And something truly unspeakable has indeed emerged from that doorway. A twisted version of Kathleen Kennedy. Basically just Cartman in a wig that's only capable of giving one note. Put a chick in it and make her lame and gay. Whether she weighs in on the live-action Bambi reboot or describing how she likes her linguine prepared at Spago, it's always that one note. They were making a live-action reboot of Bambi in the special, and that was her one note as well. Meanwhile, a broken oven door an open oven door. This is kind of the other story that's going on at the time. Represents a teachable moment for Randy, who thinks that kids today don't know how to do anything because of their reliance on AI and their phones. But Randy's idea of fixing something like the door is just using his phone to call a handyman, which proves that he doesn't know how to do anything either. Pretty soon, no one knows how to do shit anymore is the major talking point of the evening news. As the handymen of South Park have become space-exploring billionaires, Randy leads the if you haven't seen this probably sounds insane to you, but it is pretty funny and it makes sense in the special. The handymen of South Park have become space-exploring billionaires. Randy leads the town's disgruntled white-collar community to finding anyone to blame for their known nothingness. They initially point their fingers at the years that they wasted on college, when they could have been learning how to actually do stuff, but they happily redirect their anger towards Kathleen Kennedy when Iger and the other Disney execs come to town. So even Randy and the other white collars of the community are worried about these space-exploring billionaires that are handymen. They even target Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. In the end, the real Cartman and Kathleen Kennedy forge a reluctant alliance and swap mutual apologies, her for lazily mishandling properties that he once cherished, and him for calling her the C word in tens of thousands of hate letters over the years, which reopens the portal and returns everyone to their proper realities. As for Randy, he proves he learned absolutely nothing from his experiences by using the portal to simply collect more handymen from other realities, because God forbid he just learns a new skill. So that's kind of how it ends, with everybody going back to normal, Kathleen Kennedy apologizing for making shitty content, and Cartman apologizing for sending hate mail to her over tens of thousands of different letters. Well, South Park's previous specials on Paramount Plus, the Pandy one and the Streaming Awards one, were each two-parters. It feels like creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone have opted to wrap Joining the Panderverse story into a single installment. And honestly, guys, I would not be surprised if you saw Disney was going to start suing Paramount for this. They go hard after not only Disney themselves, but Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger, and I'm sure Disney's not going to stand for this and probably sue the shit out of Paramount Plus. The final scene does take viewers from Universe 5429F, where the Kennedy-Cartman hybrid is seen waking up from a nightmare of her own, but nothing indicates that there's more to this specific story. At most, we anticipate that the handyman Randy collected from the other universe will casually reappear, either in another special or in future seasons of the show. Did you enjoy the Panderverse? Blah, 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 blah. So, now that we got more people in the chat, have you guys seen this special, and what did you think of the special, and what did you think of that description if you haven't seen it as well? Let's talk about it, because this is absolutely insane. I think it's right on, it hits the nail on the head, as it were, but it's definitely a crazy take by Paramount Plus to absolutely just go after Disney like this. I still think Kathleen Kennedy's on her way out the door. I just don't know how long it's going to take her to walk out that door. I still think she'll be fired hopefully by the end of this year, but we'll see. And what do you guys think about this? Brandon says, Chris Pratt and Harrison Ford movie would sound fun. For original Star Wars ideas, why hasn't Lucasfilm made a General Grievous original movie or Darth Plagueis spinoff with young Palpatine? Well, Brandon, because they're dumb. Because Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge, and South Park was making it like extreme in like the extreme extent of what was going on there, but they're not wrong. They're not wrong, and that's what was really going on, Boondock says, if they want to save Star Wars, give us a Palpatine origin story starring Tom Hiddleston. That would definitely be cool. I don't know if it would save Star Wars for all fans, but it would definitely make a lot of fans happy. It would make me happy for sure. But I don't know I think the first step as to saving Star Wars would be getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Swagger says, love the original Indiana Jones trilogy, but there was no need to further milk it. And the same goes for Willow. Disney should have enlisted George Lucas for a new IP ideas. Lucas created 205 patents. Jesus. That's rare company. Yeah, true. George Lucas probably had a lot more ideas and IPs to kind of go with. They didn't have to milk the cow of Indiana Jones or Willow, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Let's end this poll and let's start a new one. end this poll where 72% of you, the math is not math, and did not watch the special. But now that you guys have gotten either the description of the special or you've seen the special yourself, let's do this. Do you think this South Park special is right? Yes or no? Let's see it. What do you think? Yes or no? What do we think? And another thing, guys, just a little thing here, a little side thing here. We are at 2,960 followers. Yeah, 2,960 followers. We are almost at that 3,000 subscribers. Sorry, we almost at a 3,000 subscriber mark, and we should hit that over the next couple days here, if not by the end of the week. Hopefully by the end of the week. That'll be awesome. So we're almost at that 3,000 mark, and that'll be very, very fun. There's another giveaway this week, by the way. It'll be towards the end of the week, maybe next Saturday, a week from today, possibly, for that next giveaway. So if you want to be instantaneously available to win that giveaway, it's only 99 cents to become a member today, or $5 or $10 if you want to. Yeah. So 99 cents. That's all it takes is 99 cents to become a member and actually get to that giveaway. Yeah. Congrats, Mike. Oh, thanks, Jay. We haven't made it yet, but we have come a long, long way. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for being here. For sure. So, yes, oh my God, 100% of you guys think that this special was right. That's crazy. Tom Hiddleston as a, has the mannerisms and the charisma to play young Palpatine. Benedict Cumberbatch could voice Darth Plagueis. Wow, that would be insane. That would be a big cast for sure. If you're getting Tom Hiddleston and Benedict Cumberbatch, those are two big names, you know. Big names for sure. All right. Let's shift gears a little bit here because I'm sick and tired of talking about this stupid ass freaking company of Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and all this other nonsense. I want to talk about more hype Star Wars stuff, more positive Star Wars stuff, and more, because we're getting down the right track here. Kathleen Kennedy should be out the door very soon. Ahsoka was a huge success. We're going into next year with Skeleton Crew and Acolyte and all this other stuff. Bad Batch Season 3, Tales of the Jedi Season 2, all this stuff. We're going into a good time to be a Star Wars fan, or we're technically in a good time to be a Star Wars fan, and I'm sick and tired of talking about this stupid lady named Kathleen Kennedy and the stupid company named Disney. So let's shift our gears a little bit here. Now, this is going to be kind of a sort of a shaky topic, let's say, to say the least, when it comes to some Star Wars fans. But let's talk about the new Jedi Order movie, the Rey new Jedi Order movie, okay? So just give me a 1 into the chat if you are excited for the Rey movie. Give me a 2 into the chat if you are not excited for the Rey movie. Give me a 3 into the chat if you are undecided, let's say. Let's talk about this. So Star Wars new Jedi Order film, a possible title rumor. We talked about this a little bit last time. Production schedule and latest speculation. So we got a little bit of news coming into this Rey movie, but let's see where you guys are at. A 1 into the chat if you're excited, a 2 into the chat if you're not excited, and a 3 if you're like, kind of on the fence. Jay, you're on the fence. Swagger says, that's the issue. Disney's too afraid to go against the safe grain. Oh, shit, it went away. Damn it. Hang on. It went away. Let me read it. They're too afraid to go against the safe grain. Thus, they're trying to reboot Star Wars and do the same thing after decades. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so that whole reboot Star Wars thing now kind of comes into concern again because of what we just read about the South Park thing, you know? Yeah, I know. All right, let's read this article. If I were into gambling, I would be very willing to put a lot of money into Lucasfilm's first item in their internal meetings being the upcoming Daisy Ridley-led Star Wars feature film, which Stephen Knight is scripting and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is directing. And Taika Waititi's project is in my not-so-distant second in the book. Well, this, I would put Dave Filoni's movie right up there with it, but yes. If you've been paying attention to some of the latest latest instance from the Star Wars rumors mill, you might have noticed some headlines claiming that there's a title for the new Star Wars film that has been uncovered. This is apparently coming from a Reddit post that may or may not have been posted in recent weeks, which has the title of the film being Star Wars: A New Beginning. We talked about this a little bit on what's today? Thursday stream. We talked about this a little bit about how this could be the title and how this seems like a generic title and possibly a placeholder and all that stuff. We'll see. But this allows us to throw a bit of light on allow us to throw a little bit of light onto this. Per sources, Lucasfilm hasn't decided on a title for this film yet. It is focusing on getting an actual story right for now. I hear that saying this is the title as of today is absolutely incorrect. Well, there you go. But at some point, the short list of possible titles will be considered, and A New Beginning is not out of the question. But that means that there is already a list included. Wait. But does that mean that there is already a list that it's included? It personally wouldn't surprise me, but I couldn't find it. So there isn't really a list for titles just yet, but it wouldn't be surprising if there was already a list out there. Back in early April, Kathleen Kennedy said that Lucasfilm was due a script by the end of May. Of course, that never happened because of the Writers Guild of America strike that went on May 2nd, and the union members were asked to put the pencils down, and yeah, it just never happened. With the new contracts between the writers and the studios now ratified, scribes across the industry are back to work, including Stephen Knight. I speculate recently that the end of May window may have moved to the end of October, giving Knight was allowed to open final draft again back in late September. So he's back to writing this script, meaning we could get a sort of some leakage about what this script could be about very, very soon. However, since they've stopped working for a long time, they actually can't really move forward with pre-production until the SAG-AFTRA strike ends as well, and they can cast the movie. I argued the studio might have given Knight at least until Thanksgiving, while they didn't get into more specifics. Sources in the know say that the end of October / Thanksgiving due date is a ballpark for Lucasfilm's actual plans. So it seems fair to assume that by the Christmas break, Lucasfilm will at least have read the new script and will have likely given notes as well. So the script will hopefully be here by the end of this year at least, but the actor strike is still going on. They're negotiating right now, but the actor strike is still going strong. So they can't cast the movie. They can't start filming because they don't have actors. Actors are still on strike. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Please. Out of water already. We've been going for an hour and 3 minutes already. Jesus Christ, time flies. Time flies. So the script's not done yet. Actors can't be cast yet, so it's going to be a long time till we can get into production, but they're going to talk about that a little bit here. According to reports from earlier this year, shooting was scheduled to start in April of 2024 in London. However, if by Christmas we still haven't gotten a finished script and we haven't even gotten cast for the movie, that seems doubtful. So at least, let's say August or September is a start date, is a much more reasonable, maybe even a slightly optimistic. All this hinges on whether Stephen Knight writes a winning draft for Lucasfilm, and they will move forward with this version. There's a fly in here. Oh, God. Oh, got him. Oh, nope, didn't get him. Oh, got him. Oh, die. What the hell? Got him. So, yeah, a lot rides on Stephen Knight's draft being good. You know, a lot rides on that. But a lot rides on this actor strike as well. It has to come to an end. It has to come to an end at some point. So we'll see. But they're saying it won't start production until August or September, meaning this movie, it's going to be at least 6 months to film, at least 6 more months, if not 8 to 12 more months of post-production stuff. So it's going to be a long, long time till we see this movie. This was at Star Wars Celebration. You got Kathleen Kennedy, Daisy Ridley, and Charmino Bicinoy. Yikes. Think of additional variables as well. If anyone besides Daisy Ridley is coming back too, the name John Boyega is the first that comes to mind. Obviously, at some point, he must have come into conversation inside of Lucasfilm. John Racha said on the Hot Mic podcast a few months ago that he has heard that there are in talks to return. He is in talks to return along with Ridley for this new film. I don't doubt that they're going to try and bring back not only just Finn with John Boyega, but also Adam Driver as Kylo Ren and all these other people to bring back, you know? Whether or not that's true, he may have been contacted, seems like the more reasonable assumption. So we may have a situation where they may want him to come back, but they can't really without him. In that case, he ends up backing down, or in the case he ends up backing down, the likely scenario is that given his past experiences with the sequel trilogy, he might have requested to see the script before he writes his name on the dotted line. That's true. He might want to read the script first, which is smart. It's definitely smart. He doesn't want to sign up for the sequel trilogy over again. John Boyega himself has said that he'd be open to coming back to Star Wars earlier this summer when he did sign a UTA, or with the UTA. One of the big three Hollywood agencies, talent agencies, which could signify he's planning to come back to the industry after doing smaller projects over the last couple of years. Reps for Boyega did not immediately reply to the request for the comment. Names like Adam Driver, Mark Hamill, Oscar Isaac, of course, Poe Dameron, like much bigger stretch, or more likely much bigger stretches. At the most, they would be reduced into cameos, something that could be inserted into or taken out of the scripts depending on who agrees to return. I feel like Poe Dameron would be a bigger sort of role, and Mark Hamill, of course, as well too. Luke Skywalker's ghost is helping out with this new Jedi Temple. I feel like that would be a pretty big role, you know. The film's big get still is, of course, Daisy Ridley. While reports suggested she was not a part of Damon Lindelof's story, the actor has several meetings with Lucasfilm towards the end of 2023, and repeated across several interviews that began 2023, end of 2022, I think that meant, and began 2023, and she'd love to return. She didn't really have the fan backlash that like Finn did or John Boyega did or whoever. So she was probably more open to it than John would be. A bit of an unexpected twist, but it seems plausible to assume that Kathleen Kennedy and her team up weren't in love with Lindelof's idea of exploring an elderly version of Rey and starting exploring a possibly bringing back Daisy Ridley in a couple of months before Damon Lindelof and Justin Brett Gibson were supposed to turn in their drafts. I imagine they also had Stephen Knight on hold by then. So Damon Lindelof wrote a script. They didn't like it. They fired Damon Lindelof and brought in Stephen Knight. That's kind of where they were at with that. So as far as a release date, May 2026 or May 22nd of 2026 still seems in the cards, although I wonder if this ongoing actor strike in the stream of delays, it's about to cause all will affect this. Shooting in any time of 2024 seems more than enough time to make the May of 2026. But who knows what the bottleneck of the project is needed with VFX Studios. So they still think it can make this May 2026 release date, but I don't know. Do you guys think it will? Here's my thing. They got a May 2026 release date, a December 2026 release date, and a December 2027 release date. So I think, Anthony, you were the one who brought this up in one of my videos in the comment section. 3 movies in 2 years is kind of going back to the thing that they failed at in the first place with the sequel trilogy and Rogue One and Solo. It's kind of the same problem that they had before, and they're not trying to fix it, you know? So is this going to be an issue? If the Rey movie comes out in May, Dave Filoni's movie maybe comes out in December, and then they keep going with more and more and more and more movies, is that going to be a problem, or is that going to be kind of the solution? Now, my argument to that is these movies all take place in different time periods in the Star Wars timeline. You have before the Dawn of the Jedi movie, which is thousands of years before. You have Dave Filoni's movie, which is right in the middle of original trilogy and sequel trilogy. And then you have the Rey movie, which is after all of it. So there's all different time periods in these movies. So they're not kind of the same sort of story going on and on and on. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it too much? Is it too much? Boondock says, I'd like to see Rey change the name of Jedi to Skywalker. That way we don't have to rely on the bloodline to produce new descendants. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people actually like that theory. It's a good theory for sure. Is Rey taking the Skywalker name isn't Rey taking the Skywalker name. It's more like a new name for Jedi, or a new name for this new type of Jedi, this new Jedi Order, it's Skywalkers. And that would not only keep the Skywalker legacy going on forever, but it would also sort of make the Jedi in their failed pasts go away as well. Because in The Last Jedi, Rey and Luke have a conversation about how the Jedi failed, and at their peak, they allowed Darth Sidious to rise to power right under their noses. So maybe Rey saw that and was like, I'm going to change the name. And they changed it to Skywalkers. I don't know. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Swagger Like Us says, Mike, I love the quote from Gareth Edwards from making Rogue One. You have to bring something new to the table. That's true. You do have to bring something new to the table. And even Rogue One, which is literally right before the original trilogy, brings so much new stuff in. It's still talking about the Death Star. It's still talking about the Empire and Rebels, but it brings in a whole brand new cast of characters, brings in a whole new story, and all this other cool stuff. Yeah. Hire Ridley Scott to write / direct Dawn of the Jedi. It would be a massive success. Yeah, Ridley Scott is a very, very successful creative when it comes to Hollywood, but they already got James Mangold's name on the project, and James Mangold is a very successful creative as well when it comes to Hollywood, at least, with Ford versus Ferrari and what was the other big movie he did? Well, obviously he failed miserably with Indiana Jones 5, but also that I don't think that was his fault. Let's see. James Mangold. I think that was more the interference of... Oh, he did Logan. Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari. He did Logan. Logan's incredible. He doesn't really have that big of a sort of discography, whatever the hell you call it. But he's done some pretty great movies. Indiana Jones 5 was not really his fault. I don't blame him for that, But yeah, Ridley Scott on a Star Wars movie would be incredible. Incredible. Wow, 100% of you guys do think that South Park special got it right. That's crazy. 100% is rarefied air around these parts, for sure. For sure. All right, I'm going to end that poll. Sadly going to get on out of here very soon, guys. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, put it into the chat now so we can talk about it real quick, because I'm just not feeling good today. Obviously, I don't know if it's coming out through my stream, but I'm just not feeling it today. I'm just got terrible sleep last night and just not feeling good today, so I'm just a little under the weather today here. So it's going to be a shorter stream today. We went a little bit earlier because I got stuff to do later on as well. I completely almost forgot. We got to talk about this for sure. Brandon says, the creator good? Gareth Edwards has a mixed Star Wars sci-fi as inspired for his new movie. Yeah, I haven't seen the creator. I haven't heard good things about the creator, but honestly, I don't know. But I gotta shout this out here. 1 second. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be live with Diamond Figs, okay? Shout out to Diamond Figs. If you guys aren't subscribed to him, he's got 23,000 subscribers. Go subscribe to him. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., me and him are doing a live stream. So go smash a like on that. Get ready for that. We're doing a tier list for every trailer ever from Star Wars. That's shows, that's movies, that's animated stuff, that's all of it. Every trailer for Star Wars, me and Diamond Figs are going in on it. We're doing everything. We're doing it all. And we're doing that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be there for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to tier list all that stuff. Will's a good guy. We're going to have a lot of fun on that stream for sure. We're going to tier them all up. We're going to watch them all live. We're going to tier them all live. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. It'll be very, very fun. So go set your reminder for that. Notify me. Get that reminder so you don't miss out on that. It's 24 hours from now. It's at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Watch out for that live stream. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a fun time on that live stream for sure. So go look out for that. Go look out for that for sure. Yeah. Could not forget to tell you guys that. Could not forget. Boondock says, if Indiana Jones had died, it might have been good. It worked for Logan. That's true, but Logan's completely different from Indiana Jones 5. Logan is a ridiculously good movie. Ridiculously good, yeah. I've heard 70% positive feedback about the creator. Yeah, I haven't really heard much of anything, but what I have heard actually has been pretty negative, but I honestly didn't really look into it much. Maybe I'll watch it someday, but when it's free for me, I don't want to go to the movies and watch that. Yeah. All right, I sadly do think I'm going to get on out of here, guys. I had a fun time talking about this stuff. We didn't get canceled today, I don't think. I think we towed the line pretty well today without going into dangerous territory, you know? But watch out for that live stream tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. That sounds really good for audience score. I might watch it. There you go. How's the music, your music projects going? My music projects? Good. What do you mean? I mean, we got these cool new videos. That's what you're talking about. We got that for an intro, and then we got this. But sadly, nobody became a member today. We're up to 10 members, by the way. 10 members today? 10 members, by the way. So that giveaway will be awesome. We'll be giving away some cool stuff on next Saturday, I believe it is. If not, it's later on in the week. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Hit that like if you have not yet. How many likes we got on this video, by the way? Are we slacking over there? Oh, we got a pretty good amount of likes. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. And may the force be with you. Always. Where's that stupid button? Oh yeah! What a great stream. What a great show. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. You guys are the absolute best. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, a great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.